Yesterday, the Small Business Administration came out with a very provocative press release with the title it was the report on the small business economy. Small businesses are leading the nation's economic recovery. Uh, Little sidebar note here, not this doesn't really surprise me at all. Small business has always been the foundation of business activity in this country. Our economy absolutely is dependent upon small businesses. I have seen the most significant transition in business that I have ever seen in my 40 years of being a small business owner. The big business model failed. It's always been failing, but about 4 or 5 years ago, folks were no longer in denial. Big businesses were failing, and guess what? They had to turn to the American people, you and I, as taxpayers, to bail them out of their troubles. The large car manufacturers, the largest of the insurance companies, hundreds of banks, they were failing. You and I had to bring them out of whatever it was they were in. We lent them money, very, very cheap money, I might add, and they have recovered. That's the good news. They have recovered. But the recovery and the resulting businesses are something dramatically different than what was happening 4 or 5 years ago. Of course, with the banks, there's many, many new regulations, which in many cases makes it very difficult for small businesses to get bank loans, but that's a whole nother discussion. And because large businesses, the largest of businesses, have downsized for pure economic reasons, there's now is more dependency on small business than there ever has been before. Last month, there were 150,000 new jobs created in this country. The largest number of jobs created in 4 years, I believe. That's the good news. The not as good news is that it's only half the number of jobs that need to be created on a monthly basis. In fact, the Kauffman Foundation of Kansas City very clearly, their research indicated about a little over 3 years ago, and we shared that information with you in the live streaming that we were doing, that our economy needed to create 300,000 new jobs every month for a period of 36 consecutive months to get us back to some sense of normalcy. About a year ago, the government, the American people, announced a partnership with private business. It's called the Startup America Partnership. It was announced January 31st, 2011, or 2012. On that day, I actually did a live streaming on that screen with that announcement about the Startup America Partnership. By 1 o'clock that afternoon, David's Barter community made our commitment to the Startup America Partnership, both in emails to the Kauffman Foundation, to the Steve Case Foundation, and actually to an email address at the White House. that we would use all the resources we possibly could to do our part in getting America started again, the startup of new businesses. So that's been our theme. That's been our mission on how we can get thousands of new businesses started now. We have developed an application. The SmallBizDavid Foundation has developed an application. We call it our proprietary social marketing, social network technology, which enables cash flow to get started. The cash flow getting started is a great way to start any business. We don't need to necessarily have a big detailed business plan. More important than that detailed business plan is getting started. Okay, why why is it leading economic recovery in this country? Yesterday, the Small Business Administration published this following release, opening paragraph. The economic environment in turning around America's small businesses, despite some lingering challenges from the recession that hit the nation in 2008 to 2009, according to a new report released yesterday, by the U.S. Small Business Administration, Office of Advocacy, an independent office that serves as the voice of small businesses within the federal government. The Small Business Economy 2012, it's the title of the report, demonstrates that small businesses have been at the core of our economy's growth over the past few years. In a statement, a quotation by Dr. Winslow Sargent, Chief Counsel for Advocacy. Thanks to hardworking small business owners around the country, 2011 represented the second full year of economic expansion since the peak of the recession in 2009, with small businesses representing half of the private sector output. We still have a lot of work to do, but this report tells an inspiring story. Output, business income, and profits are rising for small businesses, and bankruptcies and unemployment are declining. The report is broken down into highlights, overall highlights. Manufacturing sales were up 11.7%. Income of small business proprietorships, that's the kind of type of business that we have and many of you have or will have, I hope, increased by 6% from 2010 to 2011. Corporate profits, which also declined in 2005-2009, increased by 7.9% in the same period. Startups or births of employer firms were still below pre-downturn levels. 533,945 in 2010, compared with 668,000 new businesses started in 2007. But they increased from 2009 to 2010. On the other hand, closings or deaths of employer firms, which reached a new high of 681,000 in 2009, declined to 594,000 in 2010. Employment. Small firms with fewer than 500 workers outperform large firms in net job creation. That's not really surprising. That always happens. Demographics. Among the self-employed, certain demographic groups saw large increases in 2010-2011, particularly Latino, Asian, Black and urban self-employed workers. And here's one that's particularly important, one that we truly focus on in David's Barter community. Workers with the 55-plus age cohort that reflects the large baby boomer population, now numbering over 75 million. Financing. Total businesses lending continued to increase, but the rate of decline slowed to business loans of all size categories. Funds raised by venture capital firms increased, and disbursements increased to levels comparable to those in 2006. A point on this. Venture capital is, unless you have a big business plan, very, very detailed, it's not likely that you're going to get traditional venture capital, which typically does not look at investments less than $1 million. Considerably more, but not less than $1 million. Banks, it's becoming more difficult for small businesses to get a bank loan. But an area that has unlimited resources for new business startups are angel investors. Those individuals who have been saving money for the past 3 or 4 years, small business owners who had companies that laid people off. They didn't hire those people back, so they have been stockpiling large sums of cash. It's predicted that there's maybe $1 trillion available, cash available for new business startups. That's going to come from the very, very private sector and not necessarily the public sector. So all in all, 2013 is a great year to start a business. We will provide information resources in David's Barter community that is hosted, if you will, by the SmallBizDavid Foundation. Information about how to start a business or how to grow your business. We have many experiences over the years in both these areas. And we have developed in the last 3 years a very proprietary social marketing, social network technology platform that allows cash flow, high margin cash flow, very profitable cash flow to happen literally right now. I have a half a dozen pages or more, maybe even a dozen pages that are generating cash flow. And I will share those experiences with you to show you how you can do the same thing using our social marketing, social network technology platform. But your intellectual property, your passion, what it is that you do, that what value you can bring to the marketplace, and how if somebody invests in what it is that you do, invests in that value, what kind of return on resource investment will they be able to realize. That's what our community is all about. So thank you for your time today. Thank you for coming and sharing. We hope that you'll tell your friends, come back often, and get involved by participating in our daily Google Plus Hangouts. The best way to do this now is to go to smallbizdavidfoundation.org. On the right-hand side of the homepage is a red box. Fill the red box with the 4 fields of information, nothing private except your phone number, and that's only optional. You don't have to give us your phone number. If you do, there will be the expectation that you will want to talk with us, and we'll have your phone number so that we can call you with, if we're able to call you. Get involved. Do your part. And together we will work in the Startup America Partnership, sharing the very best practices of small business collaboration, where you and I work together to collaborate. You help my business, I help your business, and together we forge new small business opportunities. We'll see you soon.